Chicago? What do you say? Cubs gonna win today.
Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Pointless Exercise Podcast. It's Tuesday. We're going to talk Cubs with Praz and Oleg.
Hello, hello.
And Praz, are you playing for the Cardinals?
I'm sorry. You cut out there for a second. You said, "Am I playing for the Cardinals?"
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I just
Good old number 41.
Alec Burleson. I've been told a different former Cardinal that pitched here for a little bit, Lance Lynn, could potentially be my twin brother
you're
as well too.
You're in better shape than Lance Lynn.
Have you seen me with my shirt off? I don't know about that.
Everybody in Chicago has seen you without your shirt off.
True.
That's hilarious. Like I didn't realize that, and then you said it. And as soon as you said it, I'm like, "Holy crap! He looks like Alec Burleson."
He does.
That's awesome.
I've never been told Burleson. I've been told Lance Lynn. And then do you remember post 2021 trade deadline Cub, Austin Romine is also who I've been told.
Oh sure. Then they had the other Romine. What was the Andrew
Romine? I know one of them.
Andrew got to pitch to Austin, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
They were brothers?
One of them hit like a home run off Craig Kimbrell after getting traded to the White Sox in one of those crosstown games that I think like forced extra innings.
How can you possibly remember everyone who hit a home run off of Craig Kimbrell? And I'm assuming you're talking
if you go like the first 10 years of his career, it's a pretty short list. And the last 10 years,
True.
the list gets significantly longer. Let's see. Andrew Romine, pitching. There it is. 2021. Pitched in one game. He gave 1 inning, 2 hits, a run. But he got to pitch. His brother caught while he pitched. I assume a few of the pitches made it all the way to the brother.
Wasn't there some game within the last couple of weeks where some team had a position player pitch and then had to pitch like a regular pitcher because the game got too close?
I don't know. I know that the Dodgers brought Kike in with a 10-run lead in the 9th, and he gave up a bunch of runs to the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that what happened?
Was it in the 9th? I thought it was. I thought it may have been in the 8th or something.
They were just trying to finish the game without using another pitcher.
Right.
But then they had to bring in a real pitcher.
Because actually that's the rule. If you're ahead, you have to be ahead by at least 10.
Yes.
Or you can't use a position player. If you're behind, you only have to be behind by 8? 7 or 8, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Sounds right.
But if you're ahead, it's even higher.
Yeah, they had to actually bring in a real reliever to finish the game or something, right? Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm talking about.
I was kind of disappointed we didn't get that on Sunday with Mariners blowing the Cubs out.
Felt like we did.
Yeah.
Felt like we had position players pitching for the Cubs and pitchers hitting. Pitchers were hitting for the Cubs and the position players were pitching.
Right. Nate Pearson basically is a position player pitching.
So glad they brought him back. Even if it was only for a day. I liked seeing that big moon-faced kid with his tight little pants getting lit up. It's great.
How is he not good? Like he's got a couple of pretty good pitches. It seems like how is he that hittable? And it's not like he's walking guys, right?
Apparently, he's just always throwing he should be throwing the other one every time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got it backwards again. Damn it!
It's like a buddy of mine once told me. He goes, "If you're a gambler and you know that you'd lose 51% of the time, why don't you just, as soon as you have a hunch to bet one thing, just bet the other thing?"
What a lot of the sharp bettors do, actually.
I don't think that's how gambling works, but yeah. What? Say it again?
It's what's like a lot of the quote-unquote wise guys in Vegas do, from what I've heard.
Like just bet the opposite of what their hunch is? Exactly. I'm not sure that they get to any better odds unless you literally bet everything.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Unless you can count on yourself being wrong 80% of the time, and you can somehow monetize that. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't watch a lot of Cardinals games because they're the Cardinals. I knew they had a bunch of fat guys, but I don't think 80% of this team could pass the president's physical fitness test. Of course, with Trump now, there probably isn't one, or if it is, it's
correct. Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Whatever there was, it Pedro Pajes? Is that there? Pajes?
Yeah. Oh, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a big pant load. I mean, good God,
Dude,
he got it.
Did you see the other guy, the guy who got the game-winning hit for the Cardinals over the weekend? What's his name? Yazo or Pazzo?
Oh,
Yazo
Pozo.
Pozo, is that his name?
Yeah.
Did you see that guy? Jesus, that guy definitely couldn't do a push-up. Never mind a pull-up.
It's like they got a deal on like 4X pants.
Yeah,
so
right.
they just like, I got all these big pants. We're gonna find some guys that can wear them. And I say that, and they've now hit yet another home run against the Cubs.
No, did they really?
Lars Nootbaar hit a 2-run homer off of James Tyan about 30 seconds after I predicted that he probably was going to do that.
I was going to say, as Andy predicted before we started.
You could feel it coming. Lars Nootbaar, of course, one of the stars of the Japanese World Baseball Classic team.
Indeed.
Right.
Still
Did you
amusing.
The little celebration they do in the outfield after they won last night?
I don't know.
It seemed little like I know Nootbaar's kind of, I don't know, he's not like fully Japanese, right? Like
no, he had like
parents.
It's kind of like Anthony Rizzo getting to play for the Italian team. As long as you can go back a few generations, you qualify.
All the players of Jewish heritage playing for Team Israel.
Yeah, Israel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. The celebration looked a little. I don't want to call it offensive. I don't want to be offended for someone else, but I don't know how.
Were they like bowing? What were they doing?
Yeah, there was a bit of a bow involved. There's a bit of like a samurai sword thing involved.
Yeah,
it seemed a little.
I'm sure the good people of St. Louis wouldn't put up for racism of any kind.
Definitely not.
It was it was a little strange. Granted, I'm a little too woke for my own good sometimes, but it was still like I saw that, like, oh, and then I saw Nootbaar. I'm like, well, he's in it, so it's obviously paying homage to his ancestry, but seemed a little weird to me. But whatever. It's just probably the Cardinals that night. I'll rag on them every chance I get.
Chip had quite a weekend. You know, we heard his inadvertent gay slur while he was reading a thing. Not even it was for Disability Pride Night, not just a regular Pride Night. He said the word. He meant to say flag, but he didn't quite get it out right.
Didn't include the L in flag.
And it was clearly an accident. He didn't. He hasn't gotten in trouble for it. But the best part of it was he didn't say a word for 31 seconds. Which is easily, he went full Hawk Harrelson, and that's easily the longest he's ever gone without saying anything, ever, including when he's asleep, I think.
Ha.
So you're saying that's the best call of Chip Carey of his career? Yep.
Best 31 seconds of his career so far was him just shutting up. Cubs made a roster move today. Ben Brown is going to be throwing batting practice in Iowa for a while instead of for the Cubs. And they brought back Porter Hodge, and I was thinking, like, geez, did he make any rehab starts?
Oh, he sure did.
He did, and I could see why they called him up. Porter dominated in Iowa.
Yeah.
I got to call this up.
Sure did.
Ooh, he was ready.
I know.
You can see why they're like, Porter, got nothing to prove here. He pitched in 4 games for the Iowa Cubs. In 3 innings, he gave up 5 hits and 4 walks and 7 earned runs.
Yeah,
his ERA is a cool 21.
Yep.
Wow. Well,
it's never good when a rehab guy, like a rehab reliever, pitches fewer innings than appearances. I feel like that's never good.
All right, we're going to stretch you out. He threw a lot of pitches. He just didn't. He hit his pitch count. He just didn't get any outs.
Yes.
I remember Kurt Schilling one time gave up like 8 runs in an injury rehab start for the Red Sox down in Worcester. And when he came and they called him up, he's like, "Oh, those minor leaguers will swing at anything." It's like, well, apparently they were hitting everything, Kurt.
Right.
He was
Swing
fine
at
when he came up,
anything.
but he was pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, "That doesn't mean anything. I was working on stuff. Were you working on backing up home plate? Is that what you were working on? 'Cause you got plenty
He's
of
getting his
running in."
cardio in. Yeah.
Oh man, he was just bored, like in movies when you have that kid who's like in a regular class and he's bored and getting bad grades, and then they bring him up to the advanced class.
Challenge me.
Yeah,
Maybe just get somebody out first.
yeah.
So Taylor, before the broadcast day, said that Craig Counsell gave his update on Porter was he's not quite ready for high leverage innings right now.
Do you think?
Why is he up?
Well,
the
correct,
vaunted pitching
yeah.
depth of the Cubs is such that they're like, well, we don't have anybody else. Fuck, let's just call Porter up. We can pitch him in the fourth.
Well, yeah. In all honesty, giving up 7 runs in 3 innings is probably still better than you can expect out of Pearson.
Nate Pearson, yeah.
This is true. I do think they maybe would have considered Luke Little to come up, especially after they cut Genesis Cabrera. You know, R.I.P. to him. He got his one mention on a podcast we did 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
But I guess Luke Little had some kind of time off where he didn't pitch for maybe a week or so, and didn't want to get him back in major league action right off the bat of coming back from that.
I wonder. I would imagine Genesis is going to clear waivers this time because I think everybody who's ever wanted him has had him.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he'll just go to Iowa. And I hope he comes up again because I just started to use the Genesis let there be runs. And there were runs joke. I only got to use it once. I hadn't thought of it before.
That's pretty funny.
I did it before he gave up the 3-run homer, too. So I was pretty proud of myself when he
there
came
you go.
through.
Jeez. God. Why they ever let him face a right-handed hitter, I will never know.
Well, they stopped letting him face hitters altogether, so it's not,
Yeah,
true.
It's not too bad. I mean, he was fine for a few innings. He gave you a couple of decent outings, and
I mean, I could see why teams sign him. I mean, he's a lefty who can throw 96. And you think, we can do something with this. But there's 4 teams now have been like, no, we can't do anything. We can't do anything with this.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I mean, he didn't save the season, but he certainly saved the latter part of May, or maybe it was the early part of June. I guess it was the early part of June. And he was pretty good for maybe a week or two. Like, he gave you some innings. Like, I don't know. It's a patchwork bullpen anyway. You got guys hurt. You pressed your luck a little bit, and he sucked for a couple. At least they cut bait pretty quickly, and that's that. I'm more concerned about the offense kind of flattening out a little bit, huh?
A little bit. It's as crater.
Trying to be diplomatic.
They couldn't even take it. I mean,
yeah.
On Sunday, the day when, still I can't get enough of this, when Dominic Canzone and Donovan Solano both hit 2 homers, which gave the 2 of them a combined total of 6 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, hit the ball in the air. It was a home run on Sunday, but not for the Cubs.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
maybe they're going through the doldrums. Hopefully, it's just they snap out of it like the 2016 team did right before the All-Star break. And I know we're nowhere near the All-Star break, but still.
I mean, it's not even gotten to that bad a point yet. I mean, they're still a 500 team in June, and
they've now lost.
If that's the worst they do, and sounds right, because the 1 win against the Mariners, the 1 win against the Brewers, but no, they won 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. So
that's right, the Pirates. That was okay.
Yeah, the thing that amuses and irritates me at the same time, both Jim DeShays and Al Sahadev have brought this up, was, look at the run of pitchers they've faced. And it's true, right? They faced some really Mackenzie Gore and Paul Skeen.
Yes.
But
Scoopel,
can't you beat one of them?
Right.
I mean, I don't expect you to go 7-0 against those 7 guys. You want to own 7. And then the first 5 of those, you scored a total of 7 runs.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I understand. When you face a good pitcher, it's really tough to hit. That's why they're good pitchers. But if you're a playoff team and trying to get one of the first or second seeds, so you don't have to play in that stupid wild card round, You'd think he'd be able to win one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
They almost beat Skeens, but they scored 1 run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kirby was the other one, right? They faced Kirby against Seattle. And I mean, he's kind of coming off a bit of an injury, but they kind of hit him a little bit.
Yeah, and
They did
Logan
hit-
Gilbert's
and
good. They
I
scored
was gonna
4
say,
runs off him, but
They
that
hit some off
was
Gilbert.
the day when
Oh, yeah, Gilbert, too,
The-
yeah.
the
wind was
anemic
blowing up.
Mariners offense scored 10 runs.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it was an easy day to hit, and it couldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. The alarming thing is just how quickly the lineup drops off. Right, you've got 3 really good players having great years, and they
Mhm.
bat right in a row, usually. And then, you know, and Bush is the Mr. Streaky, and June is a
Bush,
good month
yeah.
for Bush. So you've got
Yeah.
4 guys hitting this year, but in this
Yeah.
month, but nobody else is. And even Happ has hit homers, which is good,
Yeah.
but
that
nothing
was it.
else.
Right, right.
Like,
Right.
and you know, that's kind of the problem. They've got these. Even Dansby's a streaky hitter, and
Mhm.
his hot streaks, this stage of his career are shorter than his cold ones are. I think it was Frank who pointed out that Shaw is probably underperforming how he's hitting the ball recently. Like he's hitting the
Mhm.
ball. Yes, I
Hard.
saw Bleacher Nation still showed that his average exit velocity is one of the lowest in baseball, but it was the lowest when he went down. So he's got a lot of work to get it up. And Frank, I don't know, made up some numbers or found some numbers to show that he's hitting the ball significantly harder since he came back up, but now he's not getting any, he's hitting into tough luck. And you could think, like, at the top of your head, 3 or 4 times he's smoked one down the third baseline and it's been for an out.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, Nico's a good baseball player, but there's not a lot of offense there.
No, he got some base. I mean, he goes 3 for 4 a couple times a week, it seems like.
Well, they're all singles.
And they're all singles, yeah. No, you're right.
You got a lot of guys you should bat in 8th or 9th, and you can only bat 2 of them there. I think what they should start doing is, see if anybody notices. I would bat. I would put Seiya, Tucker, and Pete in the lineup twice.
Oh, that's a good point.
Have them bat 6 of the 9 times.
Yes.
There we go.
And if you get away with
That's
that,
a good idea.
then they
Yeah.
start batting all 9.
Well,
Put them in 3 times
but-
in the lineup.
but what happens if they all get on
Ghost
with
runner.
back-to-back singles?
Ghost Runners.
Declare a ghost runner, and
Yeah.
you run and you grab a bat.
There you
Yeah.
go. Could call it the it was the Manfred man for the extra inning runner. It could be like the Bud Selig buddy, something like that.
You could call him the fake Vincent.
Fake
Oh,
Vincent. Hey,
yes.
that's good.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
And when they come up to hit, you call him Bat Giamatti. All right, I think that's too.
All right.
So we'll stop.
A batless. That's a pinch runner. Is the A batless Giamatti. It reminds me of the best joke I've heard on a baseball podcast recently was Sam Miller on the round table when they were talking about. I can't think of, he just went on the disabled list. Who's the guy from the Red Sox, the rookie from the Red Sox, who made a big
Christian
deal? He
Campbell?
pissed off the Yankees.
Oh,
no, pitcher.
Dobbins?
Oh,
Dobbins?
yeah.
He pissed off the Yankees fans because he said if he got traded to the Yankees ever in his career, he'd retire.
Yeah.
Because his
Yeah.
dad got drafted by the Yankees twice, and he never got to play for them. And he's really good friends with Andy Pettit. And it turns out none of that is true. His dad never got drafted by the Yankees. What was it? The guy from the Daily News, Joel Sherman.
Yeah.
Was like going to do like a funny story about it and talk
Yeah.
to his and he couldn't find anybody who actually knew this guy. And he went through all the draft records. He didn't get drafted. And what turns out is when he was a little kid, his dad told him all this stuff. Never thinking that like 15 years later, the kid is going to be in the big leagues in a clubhouse talking all this shit. And his dad's like, "Oh, fuck, I made all that up." You believe that?
And still, that's still somehow a less disturbing story than what Tristan Casas told.
Oh yeah, that's right.
God, yeah.
Dad getting arrested for child abuse, for yanking him, throwing him back out onto the field when he was like 8 years old. Well, the best part though was the joke. It's Sam Miller. It was kind of a long setup, but he basically said, he says to like Andy McCullough, he's like, so you're saying that Dobbins' dad claimed he was part of those late '90s Yankees, and he's like, yeah, I guess that would have been the time. He's like, oh, talk about stolen Velarde instead of stolen valor.
That's
It took
good.
both guys. It was like a beat, and then they laughed. Like it was just like you guys. I had to think about it. Like, oh, stolen valor.
Oh.
That was pretty funny.
Randy Velarde.
Oh, that's very funny.
It's funny. I'm sure my dad told me a bunch of shit that wasn't true too when I was a kid. I just didn't remember any of it, and I didn't make it to the big leagues to like talk about it. But his was probably farm related, so it was far less useful or embarrassing
Exactly.
than to go on. I would just like to picture that guy's dad like sitting there going, "Oh fuck, no, stop talking, stop." Oh, just stop talking. Colin, talk to the wife. Can you text him and tell him to stop before this gets any? Oh no, he just did the Andy Pettit thing. I'm screwed now.
That's kind of a funnier story than if it were true.
It is. It's better. No one would care.
Yeah.
It was just him being a punk kid, and then it turns out that he was. And apparently, it is true that it was like it's not like his dad was like telling him this his whole life, but apparently his dad had just like when he was a little kid playing Little League was just like talking about you remember how good I was, and the kid remembered it, and brings it up at the worst possible time for dad.
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's good stuff. I like it.
All right, so nothing like talking about the Cubs while they're while we're doing a podcast. Everyone will have seen this, but Seiya just hit another home run. The Cubs are leading 5-2 now, and so the bullpen catcher, one of the bullpen catchers for the Cubs, caught it. Okay. I think that if somebody in the bullpen catches a home run for the other team,
I think I've had this thought before.
It should be a double.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
There should be a reward. You're not out. That's ridiculous. It's a double.
Ridiculous.
So if somebody in the bullpen can make a catch, it becomes a ground rule double. That's the ground rule.
But if the bullpen guy catches it with this, hat, it's a single.
It's a triple. Yeah.
No,
it's a single.
There you go, single.
Oh, that's right. We got to go the other way.
Right. Okay. Right. Bare hand, then it's an out.
Bare hand. Okay. All right. Bare hand is a foul ball.
Go full.
Really doesn't make any sense.
Who is the old Giants outfielder? Kevin Mitchell, right?
Kevin Mitchell.
Yes. And that would make the Cubs dig up the bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, really wouldn't work we can't put it down the foul lines again. That doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
What you'd have to do, I guess, is just cut a hole in the bleachers above. And I would only do it if I were the Cubs. I'd only do it for the Cub bullpen. I wouldn't do the visitors bullpen. I just leave the.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, right.
Leave them in the shadows. No one needs to see them.
Wait, does one of the ballparks have like a 2-story bullpen? Like one bullpen?
Oh, there's a bunch
I
of
think
them
that's
like that. Baltimore, Detroit, I think Minnesota.
Holy shit, really?
There's a couple of them that are multi-tiered. And everyone always makes jokes about them, too, whenever there's, like, a bench clearing incident, because, like, inevitably some of the pitchers have to, like, wait their turn to, like, come through, because it's the same, like, walking path. Yeah.
It's like at some college stadiums, football stadiums, where both teams have to go in and out the same tunnel.
Yep.
They have to run in, like, at halftime, and if there's something that would happen right before,
the best was Pac Bell, which is now Oracle Park.
Okay.
They forgot the bullpens.
Yes.
They designed a stadium and forgot them, and then had to put them down the foul lines for the first lots of years before they finally remodeled, and now they moved them to the outfield. We just love that. They actually started construction on it, and somebody's like, all right, so where's okay, can you show me the bullpen? Bullpen? What? Oh, yeah, we don't have.
Forgot one of those.
Can't you guys just go out and warm up in the parking lot? There is no parking lot. Oh,
warm up in the parking lot. What do you mean?
They should have put like a little. They should put like a barge out in the bay.
There you go.
And you warm up on the barge.
Yes.
And then when you get called in, one of the guys, they have the guys with the boats that catch the balls.
Yeah.
You just have to hop on one of the boats, and they bring you up and you climb out.
Oh man,
actually, be kind of cool if you had like one of those jetpacks. And you
like Kenny Powers had those in Eastbound and Down.
I finally started watching that again. Also,
That's a great show.
That is.
Well, that was Guy. What's his name? Had one, and Kenny started to become a star on his TV show, and Guy didn't like it. And Guy was basically telling him, Kenny's like, wow, this thing's cool. I'm going to get me one of those. No, you're not. This is mine. You're not going to do this. And then he sees him like 2 days later out on the lake with one. He gets all pissed.
That show might be better than Gemstones.
No. Gemstone's the best. Eastbound Down is good. But it's better than Vice Principals. That would be the third best.
Okay.
But Gemstones is hard to beat.
All right. I'll start watching that again too. Oh man, good stuff. So, you want to talk about Cubs trade targets?
Yeah, you got a picture for us.
Yeah,
he teased it and he didn't tell us who it was.
One
so
of the
we'll
most
find out at the
vanilla,
same time the audience does.
It's the least exciting picture that you could hope for.
Steve Drexel for a third time.
Yes,
I kind of hope that I hope that they get Drew Rasmussen from the Rays.
Oh, I like him. Is he still on the end of these podcasts with the? It's now he's the one who talks about how.
No, that was Pete Fairbanks, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Pete Fairbanks.
Pete
That's
Fairbanks.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that'd be great too. I don't know if he's hurt or something. I don't know where he is at. But
that's right.
He's not hurt. He's fine.
You broke up a little bit when you said the name. What was the name again?
Oh, Drew Rasmussen.
Oh, Drew Rasmussen. Okay, yes, the former Brewer that they sent in the Willie Adames trade.
Yes. Yeah, like that guy's pretty good. Like I was looking at his Baseball Savant page. He's never going to win the Cy Young, but the guy doesn't really walk a whole lot of guys. His strikeout rate is about average. He gets ground ball. He throws a lot of ground balls. He's just a pretty good pitcher, and I think he'd be really good for the Cubs, the way the Cubs team is currently assembled.
He looks like Will Forte and David Ross had a baby.
Could see that.
Yeah, but he's pretty good. He's having a pretty good year. His ERA in the mid-twos. Like I said, he doesn't strike out a bunch of guys. He
went to Oregon State. Maybe he played with Nick Madrigal.
Oh,
maybe they're
bring him back too.
Well, he's still hurt.
I was gonna say.
Oh, is he?
I see that he's from Washington. Him and Matthew Boyd would probably be pretty good friends.
Yeah. So Drew Rasmussen on the season, 15 starts, 6-5, the 2.61 ERA, 59 hits allowed in 79 innings.
Yep.
Struck out 67, walked 18.
Yep.
Why are the Rays trading him? Just because they're the Rays?
Yeah.
And they build it. They sell and buy at the same time. So
yeah,
you talk them into
one of those things.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe they'll take Justin Turner for him. Can we trade them Chris Morel again?
Phew. Is Christopher Morel in like Durham these days?
No, he got it. He had a home run the other day. He's got 6 of them on the year. I don't know that he's playing very much, but
I really thought that I just assumed that the Rays would turn him into something really good.
I thought so too. Like he hit the crack. I remember on podcast last year, I talked him up as somebody who was about ready to break out because he hits the crap out of the ball.
Wow,
that guy just.
I didn't realize the Rays were like that close to the Yankees.
Oh yeah,
they're not
He's
bad.
back coming into play tonight. No. I mean, I knew they had a pretty good offense with Aranda and Diaz.
Well, and that the little Yankee Stadium replica that they play in, the Little League version of Yankee Stadium, is expected to get even more offensive as the summer goes.
Huh.
That's the theory. The prevailing winds. It's windy there, and it tends to blow out. They know that from like the Yankees, the minor league team that typically plays there, and it's also gonna be hot as hell. And I think it will be very conducive to pitchers getting tired early and the wind howling out. And so Drew Rasmussen he should push for a trade. Got to get out of there.
Yeah, he should ask for one. Demand
a trade to the Cubs.
I miss the Midwest.
Listen,
I don't know because you're right. The Rays are in it still, so I don't know if there's a baseball trade to be made. They seem to have a lot of pitching. They have a couple guys down at AAA who seem to be on the cusp.
They did the Cubs probably couldn't help with this problem, but they did just send Cameron Meisner down, who is like been their regular center fielder, but the Cubs don't really have an extra. I'd rather not do that.
Pete Crow for Drew Rasmussen. Who says no?
Are you trying to make people hang up from this podcast?
I'll hang up and listen.
How about? Oh, I mean, I'd trade him half, but we can't because he's got no trade.
No,
he'd refuse to play center anyway.
The Cubs would have to eat like $20 million because it's to the Rays. Let's just
Hap only $19 million next year. $1 million off next season.
There you go.
Apparently, it was 2021 and 19 for his $60 million.
That'll be attractive to Stu Sternberg.
Cameron Meisner is old, right? He's like one of those old rookies. I accidentally Googled. I was looking at pictures of Drew Rasmussen. All I got were pictures of Cam Meisner. Like I can't tell how old he is from looking at him.
27.
Not that old, but he's a rookie this year.
Yeah.
Today I learned that Wander Franco is still on the restricted list for the Rays.
Yeah, still getting arrested too. He got arrested he got a DUI down there.
Again? Like, you got arrested again?
Yeah.
Man.
His life is turning out well.
Isn't this girl that he was seeing 16 years old? She can't drive? She can't be the DD for him?
She's probably 16 by now.
Right.
14 will get you 20. So.
Yeah, they're going to have a plethora of starting pitching soon because they still got McClanahan, who's still going to come back this year, right? I like this. I'm pushing for it. I'm pushing for it. I'm going to call.
I like it. I'm all for it. What are we giving up for Cam? Or for Cam? For Drew Rasmussen?
For Drew?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now you're asking. Kevin Alcantara. I'll take him.
How about, are they going to have Jordan Wicks?
Sure. We could throw Jordan Wicks in too.
I was getting more and more excited about my Eugenio Suarez trade. And that stupid one of the Rule 5 assholes from the White Sox hit him in the hand yesterday.
Yeah.
Shane Smith.
Yeah.
Yep.
Corbin Carroll also has a broken hand. Actually,
Yes.
I don't think Eugenio, his X-rays were negative. They probably sent him over to the Cub doctor.
He's
in town, so yeah.
Put your hand in there. Is this a microwave? Don't worry about it. Looks fine to me. You can go.
Yeah.
Have they taken you out of the game yet? Well, yeah, I drove all the way over here. Oh, well, yeah, you can play tomorrow. But I can't bend any of my fingers. Well, it'll be fine by the morning.
Why are you taking my blood pressure?
But it's revenge for all the years that he killed the Cubs. Now the Cubs are trying to kill him.
Why is that funny to me?
Should have done that to Jeff Blauser. Instead, they just gave him a big contract.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's their way of. So anyway, I like that deal. I don't. I still wasn't a big fan of the Eugenio deal though. Or the Eugenio
What's not to like?
thing. I don't know.
He's already got 21 homers this year. He's a free agent at the end of the year, so you don't have to keep him. He's only owed. He'll be owed $6 million at the trade deadline for the rest of the year.
I just really want Matt Shaw to be good.
Well, but he won't block Matt Shaw. He'll just.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand the logic. I just want it to be good now, though. Like I wanted 2 home runs this week.
He had a little pop-up base hit tonight.
Oh,
So that counts.
that's something.
Looked like a line drive in the scorebook. I was listening. I think it was last night, right? Yesterday was the anniversary of the Dave Owen game featuring Ryan Sandberg. Was that right?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
And Pat and Ron, how long have they been partners? 10 years now? It's a long time. They've been together for quite a while.
14 was the first
All
year.
right, so say 11 or 12 seasons now.
Yeah.
This is how Pat starts he wants to talk about the anniversary of the Sandberg game.
Okay.
He basically asks, "Hey, Ron, do you remember the big game Ryan Sandberg had against the Cardinals when he hit the 2 home runs off Bruce Sutter?" No. What is it? Could you tell me about this, Pat? I've never
Right.
fucking heard of this.
Yeah, it's not like,
It's like-
Ron Coomer was living in Chicago at the time or anything like that.
And Ron talked about it. He was like in Little League. And he, was watching the game because it was on the game of the week. And I know it was just Pat, like, he's just starting the conversation. But it was like the dumbest way possible. Like, have you ever heard of this? What? Yeah. It's fairly famous, Pat. The stupid TV network the Cubs own shows the game like 4 times a week. If I was Coomer, I would have done this to Pat. I would have been like, hey, did you ever hear about that time Kerry Wood struck out 20 Astros? You've talked about incessantly now for 27 years?
Exactly. Or his thing he always does anytime the Cubs play the Giants with his story about like how many Hall of Famers you could see on one day. Yeah.
I like Pat. It was just fun. I'm sitting there. I'm walking through. I have my headphones on. I'm watering the flowers and the plants outside. And he starts it. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on, Pat.
That's kind of funny. I don't know.
And there was a he made a Pat. There's dad jokes. And there's Pat jokes. They're very similar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach lost his fucking mind in the background. And all I could think of was, don't you have any pride at all?
Seriously.
What is with this? You do this 7 times a game with the ridiculous fake laughing. Just
I
stop
wish it was only 7 times a game.
Yeah, more like 14 probably.
Yeah. It happens every half inning. It's like every time Pat says anything even remotely funny.
It's like the Blazing Saddles scene when Zach doesn't do it, and all of a sudden Pat just turns around and goes, I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Didn't hear a laugh out of you.
It really, like, it makes the Pat jokes less funny, and I love Pat jokes.
Right.
And
they're far funnier if nobody reacts to them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, that's what makes a dad joke actually amusing, is it's so lame that the silence that follows it becomes the funny part.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just you laughing at a really lame joke, which is what they do. And it's like, oh, somebody clearly told them to do it. Don't you think? I mean, or maybe Zach's just that big a fucking dork, and he actually thinks they're funny.
Big a dork.
Yeah. Maybe he's like, oh, that's a good one.
I think that he really is that big of a dork. Like, Pat doesn't fish for laughter, right? He just kind of says things.
Right. Well, he doesn't have to anymore. He's got a living laugh track in the second row of the booth.
Exactly. Does anyone remember, like, did he ever belly laugh like this on Bears broadcast when he'd be, like, the sideline reporter with Joniak and Thayer?
I don't know. He was probably too busy trying to not get shoved in a garbage can by some of the Bears.
True.
Was he really? I mean, it kind of explains, if he learned anything from Joniak, it explains why he's so awful at play-by-play.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, the guy, it drives me nuts. Like, if I'm listening, and I listen to a lot of Cubs games, right? I just do. And, like, he will describe the play in great detail before saying the result of the play. And when you're listening to the game, it's infuriating. It's like, I'm glad to have the description of the play, but the most important thing is tell me what the result is so I can move on with my life as I'm listening to the game, not sitting there hearing you, like, I almost said exfoliate.
Well,
like,
I know
you expound on
a Joniak comp that is legit for Zach is, Jeff, by far the most frustrating thing about him is you can't follow the action by what he tells you. It's not enough information. And he's giving you information you don't need. He loves to say who made the tackle. It's like, I'm not charting the fucking tackles. Just tell me what yard line the ball is on.
Yeah.
With Zach, I've heard it more than once where there's multiple runners on base and somebody gets a hit into the outfield and you don't know how many guys scored.
Yes.
Right.
And you're like, I don't know what base anybody's on right now. Could you stop talking about the fucking ivy blowing in the wind and tell me, like,
right? But it's not.
Did 2 runs score? Is there a guy on third? What happened?
That's my point exactly. But he'll tell you exactly how the ball was hit and where it landed in the outfield and what kind of a play it was and whatever the outfielder did to get to the ball before telling you the result of the play. And it's like, it's fine that you do all that. Just give me the result of the play first.
One thing I think I can say, like, for certain that I know he does in the booth sometimes is, like, say there's, I mean, every team plays every team now, but, like, this used to happen a lot if he would be on play-by-play for a game, that was interleague or something like that, where he may not be totally familiar with the players, and he would like look down at his scorebook to see which player hit the ball or made that play before saying it, and there'd be like a solid 2-3 second pause before he says the name of the guy.
It's funny because unless he's filling in for Pat, he's already watched 4 innings of the game.
Yeah, yes,
right.
Like you should have a pretty good idea of who's where by then. At 4 innings.
Don't you understand how lineups work? Like, don't they announce the line? They have numbers on their jerseys.
Is this guy up again? Yeah, he just had it 8 guys ago. Oh, neat.
How about that? How does this lineup thing? Maybe he would definitely not realize if the Cubs were hitting Tucker and Seiya. And
I wouldn't. That would get completely by for like 3.
The repeating 3, yeah.
He's like, who's this guy hitting again? Oh yeah.
The other thing that happens to him a lot, he's surprised by home runs, but not consistently. Like sometimes he's sure it's a home run and it's not, and then other times he doesn't have any clue until all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a fly ball in the left field, and he's running. Oh, it's a home run! It's like, Jesus, really?
He doesn't know how to look at the fielder's reaction. He has no idea how to read a crowd. He doesn't understand how ball flies into the out. He's just like, but he overcompensates for it on top of it.
Well, Andy has pointed this out about Pat before. The thing that makes Pat great is that he realizes he's on radio and he doesn't have to be like the most up to the second with every call. So he can just, he will allow the action to happen and then say what happened.
But even TV guys should do it that way. And it's the thing that always gets, and Alex Cohen runs into it, and Chip. They try to predict what's happening instead of watching it happen.
Yes.
And they get themselves in all kinds of trouble because something unexpected happens and they've already called it the wrong way. It's like, we're watching. You're just adding to it. You don't have to, we don't need to instantaneously know. There was one of the home runs.
Breaking news.
One of the home runs Seiya hit over the weekend was that he had a line drive that barely got higher than the wall and nailed the thing. And Pat couldn't get his call out. And Pat laughed about it. He's like, he hit the thing so hard I couldn't do my home run call. It was already gone.
Well, here, side note to that. I was in the car for the PCA home run on Monday night against the Brewers, and it happened, I think, first pitch of the bottom of the 8th.
Oh, well, there's no way the score had it then because Zach's still giving us fucking updates.
Well, there was no update, but the score did get back from commercial like maybe a second late, like while the first thing you heard was the crack of the bat and then like Pat yelling like deep drive to right, it's gone.
I've been surprised because I haven't listened to a lot until this year because the more Alex Cohen there is, the more I'm listening to the radio. How many first and second pitches of innings are missed on the score because Zach is giving some perfunctory update or sponsorship? Mm-hmm. It's like, good Lord. God forbid, don't let the game get in the way of your ad reads. Like, whatever you do.
I do like it when Pat and Ron make fun of the sponsors. That's kind of fun. But I don't really care that everything is sponsored, right? Like I don't you make money, you make revenue, whatever. Somebody's willing to pay for it, awesome. But it's just too much.
Yeah. Can't you charge a little more and have fewer ads?
Yeah. But it's not just ads, just everything is sponsored. So like that run is sponsored by or this pitching chain. Like it's just everything.
Well, I mean, famously Pat's call of the winning the World Series. He had to cram a State Farm ad into the middle of it. So it comes right after they jumping up and down by like a bunch of delirious 10-year-olds. And then he's got a State Farm ad to cram in the middle of the, I
don't even think I ever noticed that.
Good on the State Farm guy who made that ad buy. But I dropped my insurance with them because of it. I was so offended. I didn't do that. But I thought about it for a second and then said that seems like a lot of work.
The State Farm apparently is a co-op insurance or something like that, or they're actually somehow owned by their customer. Like I don't know, it's some weird organization that they have.
I know. I used to have Country. It used to be Country Companies. Now it's just Country, and you had to be a Farm Bureau member to
Oh.
get the insurance. So you had to pay Farm Bureau dues with your insurance. But that's the
Oh.
insurance we had. So I had to join the Farm Bureau when I was 16 so I could pay for my car insurance.
Huh. Is that like the farm version of USAA?
Yeah, Gronk, he can't get that either because he's not a farmer.
Nope. Those are always great during
Oh
football season.
man.
So I've talked myself into the Cubs trading for Sandy Alcantara
Really?
because he's 4 good starts. That's all it took. 2 of them against the
You
Rockies and Pirates.
Yeah, I was gonna say you made the point that it was
Right.
against like terrible teams.
But his last 2 were the Phillies and the Braves.
And he's been
They're
all
still
right.
good.
Though. All right.
So I'm declaring him healthy. So Cubs should
Okay.
trade for him. That'll fix
You're
everything.
right.
He wouldn't be giving up home runs to Nolan Gorman. Like,
Yeah,
Tie
I
him.
don't. I don't have anything against. I don't know. Like that seems to be more of a like a swing for the fences type thing, right? Like, hey, he might be bad, but the upside is so great.
yeah, and if you're right, you get 3 years of him. You get
Yeah,
2.5.
But you also,
I
mean-
but I don't know if you
if
don't
you're
want to
wrong,
also pay that.
You get
cost.
2.5 years of him.
Well-
You're also assuming, too, the centerpiece of that trade is probably Owen Casey. And, I don't know how high you guys are on Owen Casey, but he seems to me like he would be the most logical fallback, when Tucker inevitably walks after the season.
That's why I want him gone.
So-
I don't want any fallback. I want him completely screwed if they don't sign Kyle Tucker. So they got to sign Kyle Tucker.
Okay.
All right, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but I don't know that it's inevitable.
Inevitable which way?
Well,
That they
Praz
lose
said
him.
that. Yeah,
Right.
that it's inevitable that he walks, and I don't know that it's that inevitable.
Well, I don't want to talk out of school. I'm going to be talking out of school. I wrote the damn thing. Anyway, Thursday's newsletter. I
Oh.
lay out the I basically do all the work for Jed
Okay,
to sign Kyle Tucker and be able to afford it.
is it just one column? Is it just like one sentence that says 12 years, 480 million?
I only gave him 440 million, $1 a year
Oh.
for 440 million years. Think he'll go for that? It's worth a shot. Maybe he won't read the fine print. Hey, Crane, give him his signing bonus. Hands him $1.
Yeah.
What's this? You didn't read the contract.
It's like the scene in Trading Places where, well, here's the bet.
So the basic conceit of it is that the Cubs should treat Pete like a rookie, like a quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah,
They've got a star who they don't have to pay right now,
yeah,
but you could work out and I comp him with Jackson Merrill and Corbin Carroll's extensions because I think that
Yeah.
fits perfectly.
sure.
And you lay that out and you backload his deal and you front load Kyle's. And I came up with the way to do it so that you're never spending. It's more money than they want to spend, but any money is more than they want to spend.
Yeah,
And then I also lay out what happens if you let him go and how you inevitably end up pissing away money trying to fill the hole that you created
yeah,
because you didn't keep the guy, which will happen if they let him go. All of a sudden they'll end up fucking giving Hap an extension and they'll do something else and they'll piss away the same amount of money,
Yeah.
just not to one guy, and it won't
Mhm.
work. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like,
hell, it wound up happening with the Dansby Swanson contract because he's making more per year than what they would have paid Harper if they actually made a serious offer for him.
yeah, Bryce Harper would be like the 3rd highest paid Cub right now if they had
Yeah.
signed him to the same deal the Phillies signed him to. And he would have signed for less with the Cubs because he was ready to sign far earlier that offseason, but the Cubs wouldn't negotiate with him.
and you wouldn't have had to give up. Jackson
So he ended up with the
Ferris and-
Phillies. He ended up fine because he ended up with the Phillies and the Giants in a bidding war at the end.
right?
And that's how he ended up with the big deal he got. But now you look back on it and it's like, oh, he makes $28 million a year.
Yeah,
That
it's
doesn't
not
seem like
big
that
a deal.
much.
No,
It's not. It's
nothing.
very similar to me,
Well-
the freak out over the Rafael Devers thing with the Giants.
Yeah,
He makes $28 million a year.
yeah. Who
They're the
cares?
fucking San Francisco Giants.
Right.
They got
Right.
shitloads of money, and his deal ends when he's 38. It's not like you're paying
Yeah.
until he's 41.
Yep. You made
Like,
that
I didn't
point. Yep.
understand the pushback on that trade at all. Like, that's a
No.
no-brainer.
I don't like. I got to be honest. I don't know that I've read any pushback on it. I'm not. Oh god. I'm not sure that.
So the Athletic, I think Britt Garoli wrote one where the pushback was from everybody you'd expect.
Okay.
It was like all the front office people, like,
Okay.
oh, that's a tough deal. I can't believe they got that much, and they didn't have to eat any of his money, and they're going on and on about that. But it's perfect for the front office. Like it's to them, signing a big contract is like buying a boat, right? Like your two favorite days when you sign a star to a big contract is the day you sign him and the day you unload him and get somebody to take part of his salary. It's just how they're wired, right? Like, I mean, the Red Sox completely fucked up the Devers thing. I mean, they handled third base wrong. They handled first base wrong. They pissed him off. Craig Breslo's a prick. We knew he was a prick when he was with the Cubs. And he's getting patted on the back for them having to trade yet another one of their best players. And then, of course, they immediately badmouth him on the way out, but that's what they do with everybody. They badmouthed Mookie.
Right.
They badmouthed Mookie Betts when he left. It's like, Jesus Christ. What a fun organization.
And Mookie Betts didn't sign for all that much money, all things considered. Like they
I mean, granted, it is a different front office, but yeah, it does set like a terrible precedent for
and that's why
free agents.
The key is the ownership stays the same.
Yeah,
true.
Chaim Bloom didn't want to trade Mookie. He basically was told, you got to cut some payroll. And he got all clever and thought, I can get a huge return for Mookie. And none of those guys are still there. Nobody he traded for is still there.
And the big guy was Verdugo, right? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, and then Jeter
Verdugo.
Towns.
The guy that lasted the longest there was the catcher, Connor Wong.
It was bad.
Who cares?
Well,
like if we didn't learn, like I mean, the '92 Cubs taught us the lesson, right? Like you don't replace one star with three whatevers. You just don't. Like it's just dumb. Like it's easier to fill in with rookies in a couple of places if you have a star than the other way around.
Yeah.
You got a star, you keep it. Like it's the same thing. You're gonna have to like. It's not just about Tucker. It's what happens when Seiya becomes a free agent after next year. If he keeps going like this. And Michael Bush is going to start making money, and then they're going to freak out about that. And he's not even that great.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs have, for 2027, they have guaranteed money committed to 3 players.
Dansby.
2 of them have options. Dansby, Matt Boyd, who has a $15 million mutual option that the Cubs can buy out for $5 million.
Yeah.
And Carson Kelly, who $7.5 million or a $1.5 million option. And Seiya is arbitration eligible.
Is that right? No, I'm sure he signed it into his contract that he's a free agent.
I don't know. According to the contract thing, they've got this his final ARB year.
Is that I think I gotta look because I'm almost positive that when Japanese like Imanaga's the same way. Like theoretically, he's not at the end of his contract. Pretty much no matter what happens, he's not going to have 6 years of service time. But I think they kind of signed that into the contract. I could be.
I don't know.
Just ARB eligible.
Oh yeah, according to according to Spot Rack.
Sportech?
I always thought it was Sportac. It's SPOTRAC.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right. You would think
they have him as unrestricted free agent in 27. But the Baseball Reference one, which is the COTS one, has him down as arbitration eligible.
Huh.
I tend to agree with you. I think if your agents were the shit, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But anyway, this fact remains true that 27, it's just those 3 guys, and then 28 and 29, it's only Dansby. So it's funny though. Jed always says, we don't have any bad contracts." Well, you might have one, but it was fine. I mean, they painted themselves into the corner. They needed a shortstop. They got one.
Yeah,
they had to pay. You just have to pay what it costs. That's what happens. And
I mean, sure, I'd rather have Trey Turner, but whatever.
He had signed an 11-year deal, I think. But that was one where the Phillies signed everybody to extra years to keep the AAV down. They don't care.
Right.
That's how you should be.
It is how you should be, 100%.
Yeah, according to Baseball Reference, Seiya is arbitration eligible in 2027 and a free agent in 2028.
I can't imagine that's true.
Well, they just have to sign an extension. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Either way, they should. They should keep Seiya.
They should keep saying. And he's a bargain right now. What, $585, something like that? I mean, he's got one big contract left in him. Would it be 31?
Seiya is, yeah, he signed for
5 years. Or 40.
5 years, $66 million.
That's it.
He's $21 million this year. He only made 8 his first year.
They lucked out.
8, 18, 21, 19, and 19.
Okay.
Oh no, that's to date is $66 million. Sorry, I didn't do that.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes more sense. All right. Yeah, I thought it was.
So whatever that is, 39 and 19 and 19 and 8. It's a good return on the investment. He's good. Player.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But my point being, sorry, he'll be only 31. He's 29 now, right? He'll be 31 when he signs the next contract. He'll probably want to cash in. Like that'll be if he continues to be good.
He is 31 in August.
Yeah. Oh, already? Okay.
But 31 on opening day next year. 32 when he's a free agent.
Okay. So
he gets another 3 or 4 year contract.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cubs should just give him an extension. Like it's.
Then he can go back and play in the Japanese league till he's 50, like Kosuke.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now? I'll go back and play in Japan for 15 more years.
I think I read that Jaromir Jagr signed for another year with some Czech team. And he's 56 or something.
That's Kosuke. Well, he only played till he was 45.
Okay. That's not even Julio Franco territory.
But after he left the White Sox, he played 9 seasons in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, all these guys are legends over there. But I mean, I would almost imagine for sure that Seiya would sign back in Japan when he's 38 or whatever.
I wonder. So Shohei will be how old when he's done? He can go back to Japan and he'll just start getting the majority of his Dodgers money.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
And I think that was kind of the point of the deferrals. Is I don't know.
It was
I don't think he'd have to take taxes.
Yeah, part of it was to avoid. He technically only makes $2 million a year.
Yeah.
On his current contract, that's what he pays California tax on.
Right. But it's not just California. Right? He may not owe federal tax when he moves to Japan.
Well, yeah, he's going to move either to Japan or some island where he doesn't pay any tax.
Right.
So he'll be 40 when he leaves.
Okay.
The Dodgers, I think. 39. Yeah, he'll probably go to Japan and play. It's funny they have. He's basically doing his rehab starts for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
One inning,
Starts an inning at a time. Then it'll be 2. Then it'll be 3.
Yeah.
He's basically Jose Quintana throwing a side session in a playoff game that one time.
You kind of have to. It's you can't send him to the minors because then you lose 3 days of his at bats. Right, the day to get down there. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you lose 2 days. But you can't.
Well, how do you even do it?
Right. That's what I mean.
If you want him to go on a rehab start, you have to put him on the injured list.
Oh, that's a good point.
So now he's got to just stay down. He's not. He can't be hitting for you because he's on the injured list.
That's right.
If you want to demote him, he has to stay down there for 10. Then it's it's not a rehab. We're demoting him.
Yeah,
then he has to stay there for 10 days. Well, although the Dodgers have somebody gets hurt every day, so they could always just bring him back as the injury replacement. What I'm saying is, I think he can. If they try to demote him, I think they got to DFA him first because he's got enough service time. So imagine if they DFA. The Mets just claim him.
Yeah, they have to put him through waivers, and somebody else has to pick up that contract. I mean,
The Mets
I
and
don't
the
know if
Yankees
somebody
would do it in a
but-
heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
They wouldn't care. Like, fuck yeah. Woohoo.
Any team in the majors should do
I
it
do
all.
wonder. I know one that wouldn't. Oh,
Yeah.
it's deferred money. We don't like any of that deferred
Oh,
money. We had to pay deferred money to Jason Hayward. We're
Like,
still paying him
imagine-
this year.
Oh my God! Imagine if that actually hypothetically were to happen, and Rick would be like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah. No. Who's going to
Oh
pay the
my
deferrals,
God.
Jed? Are you going to pay him? Are you going to pay that out of your own pocket? $36 million a year for 10 years? Huh?
Oh my God! No, it's not. It's 68 million.
Oh, that's
Net
right.
present
36,
value.
because his,
Yeah.
you're right. 68 million is his deferred money starting
Yes.
after he retires.
Yes.
He counts as 47 million on
Yes.
luxury tax,
Yes.
which is still a
Wow.
savings of $23 million a
Yes.
year for the Dodgers under the luxury tax. Yeah. I remember how mad. I remember the Bleacher Nation guys got all mad about it's not a $700 million contract. The Cubs actually offered more
Oh,
present
God.
day money. It's like, this is the sweetest fucking deal any player's ever gotten, guys.
Correct.
Don't even pretend like the Cub offer was better. It wasn't. Shohei structured the deal. He basically told the Dodgers, "This is how we're going to do it."
Yeah,
The Dodgers were like,
yeah.
"Yep, sounds good to us. Let's do it."
Yeah. It's a win. I mean, there's still the idea that you want the money now as opposed to later, but the amount that he would save, like to your point, the amount he would save on taxes.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he's a unique case. They estimate he makes about $20 million a year in endorsements.
Yeah.
So, it's not like he's like, I got, I mean, I don't know how much money he has to pay Ipe to go to prison for him, but so you got to take the rap for this, Ipe.
Yeah.
But he's got money is not a problem. So
No,
him
right.
deferring it, he's like, whatever. And
Yeah.
part of it was to avoid taxes, and part of it was he wanted a lot of money, but he wanted the team that he went to still have money. So he didn't
Yeah.
end up like the Angels,
Mhm.
where it was just
Yeah.
him and Trout and nobody. That was the whole
Yeah.
impetus for that. It's like, here, I'm doing this for, and because of that, he basically can run the. He also, if Andrew Friedman leaves,
Right.
Shohei can
Yeah,
leave
he
as a
can-
free agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He basically runs the organization.
I
Yeah.
mean, we basically, maybe it's been brought up on this podcast a time or two before, but on the podcast we both listened to, the roundtable, they brought it up when Devers was still with the Red Sox that like he was the person making the most money other than the owner.
Well,
And I mean,
the crazy thing, and they didn't know it, and I didn't know it. He signed that 11-year deal and didn't have a no trade clause.
Yeah.
wow.
Like he didn't have to approve the trade of the Giants. They just traded him there. He didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have to get permission.
Well, he never thought like.
Yeah, he didn't think he was ever going to trade. Plus, he's
Right,
closing
you're
in
thinking of-
on 10-5, right? Because he's been
Yeah,
around
yeah.
forever. Because he came out. He's 19.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
crap.
28, and he's been up for.
Wow.
He was 20 when he came up. This is his 9th season, so next year he'd have gotten his 10-5. So they had to do it now.
Wow.
They had to trade him
Alright.
this year or this offseason, or he could block whatever.
Wow. All right. That's oh man, he would have been perfect for the Cubs.
He was the guy
There's-
every Cub fan had already. He was going to be their third baseman, right? There's
Yeah.
Then he signed that extension. Like, well, I guess not.
And he's an awful third baseman, though. Like I will say this about the Red Sox: like they're like, look, you're a terrible third baseman. Like you can't do this. You're going to age poorly.
Yeah, but there was a way to do. There was a way to do it that they didn't do, right? Like, they basically what he got all hung up on was when they brought him in to tell him that Bregman was going to play third. Cora basically told him that you're a terrible fielder, so you just be a DH. He told me
lose the
you
glove.
can. He goes lose the glove, and so when
Yeah.
they went to him to ask him to play first base, he goes, "He told me to lose my glove," and
Yeah,
that was the end of the
right.
conversation. He wouldn't even
Yep.
think about it. He
Yep.
immediately gets to the Giants and starts taking ground balls at first base.
Yeah.
Exactly right. That's the best part of it too. If only it would have played out where
Yeah.
he would have
Only
played first against
It was
the Red
too
Sox.
soon. It was 3 days later. The Red Sox came in. He wasn't ready, but
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been amazing. But yeah, I guess Breslow really is kind of a dick, huh?
well, he said he's very socially awkward, apparently.
Okay.
And one of their scouting guys, there was a story, it was in one of the things about the trade. They were basically talking about him. And like they would do these conference calls and they would be awkward and like, whatever. And one of the scouts, like I was a scouting director, I think, thought he had hung up and he hadn't, and said something like, well, that was another inspiring chat or whatever. And he got fired because of it. Pissed Craig off.
Right.
They say he's just kind of he's a little odd. I knew from people who wrote for the Cubs that he basically he spent his time with the Cubs doing two things, supposedly working on fixing their pitching infrastructure and telling reporters how good he was at his job. But that seemed to be how he consumed his day, because he wanted to be a GM someday. So he immediately started I'm so good at this, and here's what we're doing, and here's why we're doing it. And the Athletic wrote a bunch of flowery articles about him over the 3 years he was with the Cubs.
Yeah.
So I guess it worked. When was the last time you saw a guy tag up from second base on a fly ball to center?
I believe that happened with Javi in the Alec Mills no-hitter, right?
Yeah, it also happened on Tuesday night against the Cubs. Mason Wynn scored a second on a fly ball to Pete.
That had a little reaction there that was trying not to make obvious, but
tag up from second and scored. That's an old mid-'80s Cardinals trick.
Yeah.
I think Lottie Smith did in the playoffs.
Well, I think it was a matter of Pete not knowing how many outs there were that inning.
Yeah, he did not get the ball. Made a nice catch, and then did not actually hurry up to get the ball in, and Wynn never stopped, and he made it easily. Whoops.
Yeah, well, he's a kid.
Once again, things are going great.
Yeah.
Good thing is, Cub fans like me won't overreact just because of the Cardinals. That won't happen.
Hey, look, they lost the first 3 games this year to the Dodgers head-to-head and still wound up winning that season series.
Dodgers are good. The Cardinals are not.
Well, even more.
They also, the Cardinals don't hit home
runs,
and they can't stop hitting home runs against Cubs.
Right.
So, fun. Were they 26th in baseball in homers?
Against 2 specific pitchers. One of them's off to a farm in Iowa, and the other one is doing his belt exercises in the dugout.
I think I haven't seen him wearing the sharper image back vibrator. I think Taya needs to get it. He's got to dig that thing out of a trunk somewhere.
He forgot to pack it.
It's probably it ran out of batteries and they don't know how to change it.
Well, batteries cost money.
He gave up 21 homers last year. I believe he's given up at least 3 tonight. So he's at 21.
Which would make it 21 now, yeah.
And it's a good thing the season's almost over. Oops, that's right. It's not even halfway yet.
All right, let's not go down that road.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he's on pace to give up 42 now instead of.
Yeah.
It's not like he's he's given up more this year, twice as many. Yeah, it's fun.
Wouldn't be so bad if they were solo home runs.
Yeah, he'd been containing them until tonight when.
Yeah.
That didn't really happen.
It sucks because I looked it up like earlier today. I got a buddy who's like the most negative Nancy Cubs fan you could ever imagine. And he was trying to get me to talk him off the ledge. And I looked up like Jameson Taillon's career numbers at Busch Stadium and like had been really good. Like he came in tonight with like a 2.58 career ERA at Busch.
Yeah, Boog had it. It's like one of the best opponent ERAs given the number of starts.
Right.
In the history of Busch Stadium. Well, it's gone up a little today.
Slightly.
He's going to look at who he's beaten this year. He's beat the A's. They're bad.
Mm-hmm.
He beat the Rangers 10-6. So that's a win. They have a winning record, right?
Had a Tigers
Milwaukee
pretty recently.
They have a winning record.
Yeah.
The Marlins? Nope. The Rockies? Nope. The Reds? Oh, he beat the Tigers. He beat the best team in baseball.
Yep.
And then the Pirates.
The Rangers are not above 500.
So they're not. So
but they played him at a time when you thought they were good.
It doesn't matter. We'll go by because that's how I did it. He only beat 2 teams' winning record his first year. One of them was the Padres, who were like 12 under when he beat them, and then made a mad dash to 500. And I gave it to him. I gave him credit.
Right.
Okay.
So it looks like Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Reds over? The Reds are over, right?
Yep.
And the Tigers 3.
That's nice. Well, to be fair,
This will be fine if they make the playoffs. Is there a playoff team with a losing record? There might be. We can start tying against them. That'll be good. I told you about I get annoyed by the dumbest things, and I got really annoyed by the fact that Bleacher Nation, Brett wrote this whole thing about how Tyon has been very good in his 3 years with the Cubs. And just I was like, just, you can't help yourself, right? I would go for he's been good. That's fine.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been very good. He is not. And, you chose that word. I didn't.
Yeah, he's been all right. Whatever.
He's signed for next year.
Yeah.
Here's what's coming back next year. Dansby, Seiya, Tyon, Happ, Boyd, Nico, Kelly, maybe Colin Ray. He has a $6 million...
Right.
Oh, he has a player option.
He's
coming back. And they're also sending $2.5 million to the Yankees for Cody.
All right.
How about that? The Cubs paid his $5 million in installments.
Yeah.
Okay. Surprised they didn't do it. Surprised they didn't do it over 5 years. Well, it's not going to Cody. It's going to the Yankees.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. I'm surprised they didn't do it over 5 million years.
Yeah.
One
he tried
a year.
Whichever. Is it Hal that's alive or Hank? Whichever one. You can't pull the wool over that Steinbrenner's eyes.
Right.
He's not falling for that trick again.
Yeah.
$1 a year for 5 million years.
The again there was the funny part.
Right.
So who's pitching tomorrow? Cade? Must be Cade Horton?
No. Matthew Boyd.
Oh, Boyd and then Shota.
Yeah, Boyd and then Shota.
And Shota, yep.
It'll be nice to have Shota back.
It will be nice to have Shota back.
Even if it's only for about 4 innings. But
it's funny, JD was like, I don't know, when they were trying to figure out whether Shota would pitch Wednesday or Thursday. And he's like, would you really pitch him Thursday? It's a day game, and that place is going to be really hot. I was thinking, it's St. Louis, man. It doesn't matter what time
doesn't really
is.
matter, as is evident
it's gonna be
tonight
hot.
and last night.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with St. Louis is that when it does, during the day, when it does get really hot, the urine smell really comes out.
Well, it's fresher.
So it's hard to, yeah, right. So it hasn't had time to marinate.
Oh, that place.
Yeah.
I've never been to, I guess this is Busch Stadium 3?
Busch 3. I've been a few
Sportsman's
times.
Park became Busch Stadium before they moved to...
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is Sportsman...
God.
Isn't that where the Browns played?
The Browns and Cardinals did share it. Like,
oh,
they
did. Okay.
Yep. And then Busch Stadium 2, which is like the ugliest looking stadium I've ever seen, honestly.
Well, that was the classic
outside of Oakland and
the only architectural flourish it had was, it was a complete bowl.
Yeah.
And at the top, it had the little arches.
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
Well, it's
it
like
was
all
not
those
cool,
stadiums.
and it was the only thing about it that differentiated it from Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or all those. They were all the same.
Yeah, they were all those like
all
bowl
concrete donut stadiums. Yeah.
With that weird AstroTurf that.
Well, it was a different time. There were 2 teams playing there. You had the football Cardinals too, and
Why are you apologizing for them?
I know.
I'm just saying, in the case of
St. Louis Visitor and Conventions Bureau spokesman Mike Prazdowski.
No, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
You got any discount tickets to go up in the basket in the arch?
God,
oh, I've done that once.
I
did it as a kid.
Too. Would not recommend.
The big croquet wicket.
What a shithole. Everything about that city just sucks.
It does. It's awful.
Like there's people like I constantly it's not that bad. Like the promenade? What do they fucking have on the river? It's not that bad. Fuck off.
Right.
All the good stuff's across the river in Sauget. That's where all the strip clubs are.
Yeah. East St. Louis and
Hell
it's the
yeah.
place that's like the
Used to go down
the horseradish
and,
capital.
Dwayne and Wayne McLean and I would hang out.
Are those the guys from Villanova in the mid '80s?
No, wait a minute. Which McLean played for Illinois? God damn it, Sergio
Okay.
McLean, and his dad
Oh,
was,
okay.
I believe, his dad was Wayne.
Okay.
But they were the famous. East St. Louis had a really good basketball team for a few years in
I thought it was
Illinois. Got
forever.
like all their guys. They basically
Yeah,
just came to play for Illinois.
Yeah, I thought
Marcus
Bill-
Griffin and Sergio and
I
Frank
thought
Williams.
they were good. I thought they were good for like decades.
They were, but there was one team that won 3 state championships
Okay.
in a row, and they all came to Illinois together.
Okay.
They did not win 3 national championships in a row, but they were.
No. What Illinois teams were those in the mid '90s?
The Lou Henson years.
The end of Lou, maybe? In the beginning,
End of
Lon
Lou?
Kruger?
Okay. Oh, Lon Kruger. Okay.
Lon
Which-
and his lisp? That was
Yeah,
a good
what
coach,
team-
but that lisp was... Let's see. Sergio played at Illinois from 1997 to 2001.
Okay.
And that was Lon Kruger. And did he finish up with Self?
Hey, breaking news.
So Lon
Nico,
Kruger.
Yeah.
Nico Horner is now
Holy
on the
shit,
board.
Nico
with
with a home run.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right. Time for an emergency
What do we
Nico
do?
Horner home run podcast.
We've been practicing for this all year.
And I
It's
like that
happening.
he just acted like he hits them all the time. Like he just hit it, just kind of dropped the bat, like, "Whoa, I knew I screwed that one." All right, and he got it just. Oh, did Lars Nootbaar knock it over? I think he might.
I don't care what happened.
Did he
If
Jose
Lars-
No, it was a
Canseco
legit. It was a legit home run. It was just above
Yep.
Lars's glove.
Oh, all right.
into the pile of manure there beyond left field?
You have to be more specific.
And I'm not talking about Al Yellen.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's wonderful. Good for Nico.
I didn't get
like
a chance
Nico
to see
Horner.
how are we doing for a crowd tonight. Last night was maybe 2/3
was-
full.
It was pretty pathetic last night. I think in the beloved Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game, I think Pat Hughes predicted 30,003 as he does with his palindromic guesses.
Yes. But
I gotta say,
what they report and what you see, there's a hilarious difference.
oh god, yeah, because it's tickets sold that they report, right?
They seem to even I think they pretend they give some away because they want to pretend like they.
Because it used to be, didn't they used to give you? Maybe
Yeah, it used
this
to be
is
the
back
gate.
in the '80s.
Like actually the turnstile
Well-
count.
Well, they used to give you two numbers. One is how many tickets sold, and the other one was how many actually showed up. Was the turnstile, right? Am I misremembering?
Let's see. So
I swear
it
that might be
seats.
true. I mean, it was probably a long time ago.
It plays seats 47,395. That's big.
Okay.
Last night's
That is
attendance, Pat
Yeah.
was over.
There are even that many.
27,058. 20,000
Oh,
empty
God.
seats.
There are even
that's-
that many
so wait, so
people
then-
in St. Louis. Jeez.
I'm always saying the 47,000 is capacity because that was their opening day crowd.
Okay.
You
You know
would
that
assume
there
you
are
sell out opening day. Maybe they oversold
only
it.
only 47% of residents in St. Louis can even count to 47.
But the 27,000 for a Cub game is embarrassing because so many Cub fans go.
Yes. I think that people are realizing how awful St. Louis is.
Right.
I could have told them.
Well, there's probably a
48
good amount of
years ago.
people there from like Springfield or Peoria that are in that in between area between Cubs and Cardinals that made the trek down.
Yeah, I got a brother-in-law who was born in Peoria and he's a Cardinal fan.
Ugh,
Gross.
Awful.
that's like
I
the
remember
weirdos.
my dad died right during the 2011 playoffs. And the funeral was the day of game 6 of the World Series.
Freeze.
And that
home
was the
run.
game when if fucking Nelson Cruz could catch a fly ball, the
Yeah,
Rangers would have won the
yeah.
World Series.
Jesus.
The next day we saw him, my brother-in-law, and he goes, oh, it was an amazing win last night. I think your dad was up there, pulling the strings for us. And my brother and I both looked at him and goes, "Dad had anything to do with it. The fucking Cardinals would have lost in 4."
Correct.
Pulling strings. Oh God. Oh well. Oh, well. It's kind of it's nice to there's not a lot of things as I get older that I really hate. Like I've stopped hating musical groups. Like I've just stopped hating things. But it's nice to have this hatred for St. Louis that lives inside me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't have it for much anymore.
Yeah, right.
But the Cardinals and the Packers.
Yeah. Oh God.
They'll never change.
Yeah, for sure.
Brewers for me currently, but that could wane.
I don't like.
The Brewers. I think I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed by the Brewers. I think more than anything. Like they're slowly turning. The Cardinals didn't they're turning into the Cardinals, but they're not. They're still kind of fun. Like the fans are still fun, right? Like it's not.
Yeah,
they're not awful people.
That's
Although
true.
you got to remember, most of them are Packer fans. So there's a lot of Cub fans that are Packer fans too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is kind of rather annoying.
Also,
were you saying
White Sox fans who are Packers fans too?
Well, that tracks.
Yeah, that tracks.
You're dumb enough for one, you're dumb enough for the other.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up around a bunch of Packer fans because I grew up, right on the state line.
Yep.
And then of a generation where a lot of the parents of like my friends would have been, they were growing up during the Lombardi years. So they hopped on the bandwagon and never got off of it.
Yeah.
But there were still more Bear fans than Packer fans.
Well, who would it be?
Would it be? And they were all was really annoying.
Would it be like with your grandparents, or would your parents know people who were Chicago Cardinals fans, and when the Cardinals left, became Packers fans?
Exactly. That's how you get the White Sox Packers fans.
Yeah.
Because the Cardinals used to play at Comiskey. So back in those days, if you were a White Sox fan for baseball, it would line up that you would be a Cardinals fan for football.
When did the Cardinals leave? Was it in?
It was like 1960, I think.
Was it that? Okay, that was that.
Both Mayor's Dailies are from Bridgeport, and I want to say they were both Chicago Cardinals fans at the time that they were there.
Is that why Richie always threatened to bring in if the Bears wanted a stadium? He was to bring an AFC team in. We have to have somebody playing there every week. Hey, shut up. I believe on Remember This Crap that Mike and I unearthed the fact that the first year that the Cardinals left Chicago, they played in Minneapolis because their stadium was not ready.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, would have lined up with when the
Vikings weren't there yet, but they were coming. So they had basically Metropolitan Stadium they were figuring out how to reconfigure it for football. And they basically tried it out on the Cardinals. We're gonna have a real team here in a couple of years, so let's try it with you assholes.
Right.
Let's look here.
I remember when we first moved to this country. Should I say that on the podcast these days?
Not these days, maybe.
I am an American citizen. When we first moved, we moved to St. Louis, and I remember the old, was it the Phillips 66 stations? I don't remember. There was one gas station that was a 66 and one station that was a 76, and they had these. They would give away these kind of these drawings, like they're not lithographs, but copies of these drawings of football players. And that's how I first knew who Jim Hart was, Pat Tilley. I think we came to Chicago and they had him in Chicago too. This would have been in the early 80s. Do you know what I'm talking about, Andy? Any idea what I'm talking about? In Chicago, I remember that's how I knew who Alan Page was.
Oh, okay.
And there may have been a couple of others, but it was super interesting. But that's how I remember having those, and that's how I became a football fan. I became a baseball fan through baseball cards and the stickers. I became a football fan through these drawing things. There were 6 or 8 of them of each team. Of the Cardinals had them and the Bears had them. I don't know anywhere else in the country.
No, I don't know.
They had them. They must have. But anyway, I should look that up. Just see if I could buy them. Like I probably don't have them anymore. I wonder if my parents kept them somewhere.
My wife was. She came down last night and she had a bunch of old pictures that she had found. She was cleaning something up and she found some pictures and she was making fun of me in the pictures. And one of them, she's like, "Is this you and your dad?" And she holds it to me and it's a picture of me. Dad took the picture. It's a picture of me and Ron Santo is at a table and he's looking down, so she can't see his face. Okay. And I go, "Do you think Dad wore a toupee?" And she's like, "I thought that was a toupee." And she goes, "Well, who is it?" I said, "It's Ron Santo." And I pointed from where I'm sitting. I have the thing he signed. It was a promotion they did for Old Style. Well, you guys can see it. But so it was that.
Oh, okay. That's
and Ron tried to keep it. So for people who can't see it, it was a thing. Yeah. It was in Randy's supermarket in Palos, I think. My friend Neil worked there and had gotten it and gave it to me. And I took it to a Cub Caravan thing in Rockford, and Ron was there, and I had him sign it. And he's like, "Oh, this is really nice." And he's like, wasn't giving it back to me. And I'm like, "Ron, no, that's, hey, thanks for signing it." I'm like pulling it away from him and he's just still looking at it.
Right.
I've never seen this before.
That's pretty funny.
He was holding on to it like it was the cure for diabetes.
Oh my God. Why am I laughing so hard at that?
So I got confused because I didn't hear the very beginning of your thing. Because I was still trying to figure out. I can't find the thing about the Cardinals playing in Minneapolis. And when I looked them up, it said the first season they played at Sportsman's Park. So now I'm worried that I wasn't right. But I know it had to be them. Because somebody played their home games one season while waiting for their stadium. Maybe it was, I don't know. Anyway, you're going to have to go listen to the Cardinals, the football Cardinals. Remember this crap. Listen to the whole thing, and eventually, I will get to it.
Just link to it in the podcast description.
Gotta find this. I gotta find Union 76. That's what it was. Union, not Conoco. Okay, Union. I gotta find this now. I'll send you. Like they were really kind of cool drawings. If I remember right, they may have been, but like I distinctly remember.
Ooh, I found it, Andy. Sorry, go ahead, Oleg. Whenever.
Okay. Good.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was really cool. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So it was the 1959 still Chicago Cardinals. The home games that they played on October 25th and November 22nd were at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. But they were still Chicago Cardinals. Would still play another home game at Comiskey on November 29th.
Okay. Take that, Donahue.
Yeah, the Cardinals, after playing 2 games in Bloomington in 1959, announced in March of 1960 they were moving to St. Louis. The Bildwells. What a fun bunch. We think we have it bad with the McCaskies.
True. Didn't even get the worst ownership family from Chicago.
The worst inbred. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
I gotta find this. Hold on.
So Union 66, that's Murph, right?
Union 76.
76. Murph. Remember Murph from the commercials? Like the redheaded guy? Not Mike Murphy.
Hey, what's your beef?
There he is. Union 76 TV commercials.
Huh.
Murph. He was a creepy redheaded guy who worked at the pumping gas with a lot of wisdom. To the people who pulled up. They made a whole series of commercials with him. And I remember because watching GN as a kid, they were on all the fucking time.
Huh. God, I can't find these. That's what I'm going to do during work hours tomorrow. Just search out what I'm looking for. I'm not even sure how to describe it. Like, I wish I still had them. They're super cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I had as a kid that I think.
Yeah. Like I remember losing a whole bunch of baseball cards that I had in this huge booklet, and one of them was like a Carlton Fisk. It was a Carlton Fisk, like a second-year card. I was super proud of it, and I lost.
I still have most of my baseball cards.
Yeah.
Have a
By
good
then, it
deal
was
of
like a
ones.
cliche that your mom
Mm-hmm.
threw your baseball cards away. So my mom made sure she didn't throw my baseball cards away.
Oh, nice.
And I have the one card I have that it has to be worth some money. I have a shitload of Tony Gwynn rookie cards.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Well, so in the early 2000s, I was living near Wrigley Field, and it happened that me and both of my roommates were all sort of unemployed at the same time. Like I had one buddy who I lived with who owned his own business, so he didn't really work that much. Another buddy who was a union electrician, so like he would just get laid off in the off season and stuff like that. And then I got laid off right after September 11th from Rand McNally. And we all lived together, and so all of us, like, we would sit around on our computers. Like it was a nice place we had right by Wrigley. It was really cool. But we'd sit around and we would just shop on eBay for these baseball cards that were a couple bucks a piece. So I ended up buying a whole bunch of rookie. I got a rookie Ron Santo. I think I've got a bunch of Billy Williams cards.
Nice.
But I ended up buying a bunch of Ryan Sandberg and Tony Gwynn, and
Yeah.
I think it was Cal Ripken Jr. Like they were all rookies in the same set of the 83 tops, like with a little circle at the bottom. I think it was Tony Gwynn and Ryan Sandberg were for sure rookies in that set of cards.
Yeah. I have a bunch of.
Maybe
I
it
have
was Wade Boggs.
I
Maybe
have
it was Wade
several of
Boggs.
the Sandberg ones too.
Yeah,
Those were that was the 83 tops with the
yes.
circle
Yes. Is that-
picture, like
Yes.
the circle
Yes.
headshot. Yeah. And
Yep.
Gwynn
Yes.
is
That's
like
still,
number 51 or something in his. It's like a
Yeah.
spring training one. Yeah.
That wasn't still him
Yeah,
in
it's
the
a-
Phillies uniform, was it? Or was after the first year of the Cubs?
No, it was first year with the Cubs. Like this
Gotcha.
was so it would have been. Sorry, it would have been Gwynn. Not Gwynn. I think it was Boggs who was also in that set for rookies. Like those three guys, and Cal Ripken was the year before as a rookie, the 82 top set.
There's a Sandberg Donruss card, rookie card Donruss. And I didn't remember when I was a kid. I won't remember this. The
Yeah.
Cubs were wearing the powder blue pinstripes
Oh,
because he's wearing it in the card.
The Bill Buckner.
So the 82
uniform.
Cubs were still wearing those things.
interesting.
And I'm sure it wasn't a throwback game. They had never thought of that shit before. That was,
Yeah.
or maybe it was because I think they had the solid blues by then, right?
Well, thing around that time, wasn't it like when Dallas Green first got in that like they first decided to like retire numbers or whatever? So maybe it could have been a throwback thing.
I
Yeah,
would
'cause
guess that
forever the Cubs-
Yosh probably forgot to do the laundry and they just had to dig those out. Oh shit! Whoops! Here's some boxes of stuff. Put something on.
I will not stand for this Yosh Kawano smear campaign. That guy's a saint.
Yeah, the Cubs have a shockingly small number of retired jerseys for a team that's most of their success was. Maybe it's because most of their success was before they had numbers.
Exactly.
that
There you
numbers.
go. Yeah.
Let's retire Tinker, Evers, and Chance's numbers. They didn't have any. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like nobody earlier than Banks is
It's Ernie.
retired.
Right.
Right, well, famously, they only had Banks and
Or I
Williams
guess Jackie, but
forever.
You know.
Yeah. Well, that's all they
And maybe
needed.
you're
One
right,
on the
maybe it was
one on
even
the right
Boston.
field foul pole and one on the left field
Yep.
foul pole. That's all we
Yeah,
needed.
that's all you need. Yeah.
And then
Unlike
was
the Yankees or
was
the Bears.
Santo the third one?
Santo was the third one.
It
Yep.
must have
And
been.
then
And
Sandberg.
did
Then
Fergie.
Sandberg, and then Fergie and Greg together.
Haven't had one since though.
And then soon Ryan Terrio. Put his up.
Stop it. He's got to be dead for 20 years.
You do Mike Fontenot and
Mark Grace.
Chris Bryant together, and Mark
Oh,
Grace, three of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The three of them on that. That'd be good. Well, it's funny. Like the Tigers, they've got some guys and they just have their name painted on the wall because they don't have numbers.
Yeah.
It's like
Should
Sam.
have
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
There's no number. He didn't have a number.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
just painted
yeah.
on the wall.
Well, like I've always kind of thought this. Why not put like a flag on the roof like they used to do for like Gabby Hartnett or Charlie Root or any of those 30s guys?
Well, that's what the
Well, did
utility tunnel of fame is for.
Yeah,
That's what
but they used
Yeah,
to have
okay,
that. But you're
that's
right.
true, that's
they used
true.
to have those. They used to have those little flags that would just have people's players' last names on it.
They don't do that anymore? I haven't even
and
noticed.
then other random. I don't know. I never noticed.
Some
And
of
then
them were
other, other random.
it was almost
things.
like a code to it. Like sometimes they'd have a number would mean they'd have like a number on a flag, and it would be like how many doubles somebody hit one year.
Is that
just
right?
completely
Right.
random shit up on the roof.
Yeah. I think like Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game was one. Sammy hitting 66
Yeah.
in 98 would have been
Oh,
one.
that's right. Because they would. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like they would just have
Yeah.
66.
Yeah,
on
and you'd
the
have to like
flag
you'd be
for-
like, is that for Bulldog Turner? Badge was there going, oh, Clyde.
Oh.
Oh, I love Clyde.
I said on I don't know what podcast I said, I'm sure it was really awkward when Virginia finally went to heaven and she just shoved Ed out of the way and said, where's Clyde?
Oh, man.
Oh, good times.
Yeah, I don't know.
All
I
right.
mean, Wrigley, the basic structure of Wrigley, especially they don't have any wall space to do anything with.
Yeah.
Because
True,
what
yeah.
the few thing they do, they have to have a logo and they have to have a sponsor logo on it. They don't really have, I know the flags are fine for the championships, but that doesn't seem as prominent as it should be. I don't know why. Of course, they've got them obviously for 07 and 08 and then in 2016, and then they've got to have the one for the three-peat of the fifth best record in the National League in the second half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Find a good
There's
spot
all
for that
sorts of
flag.
things you got to do right. The spring training championship from this year.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a lot. The poor marketing team is overwhelmed by all the accomplishments.
What they need to really do is maybe in the upper left field, just create a space where those seats are, because nobody really uses them anyway.
Right by the
That's way too inside of a joke.
upper left field. You mean by the foul pole?
Well, wherever Yellen sits.
Yeah, right by the foul. He tucks himself in
Yeah.
by the foul
Yeah.
pole.
I'm gonna pick the seat that's furthest away from home plate.
I'm gonna line up 4 hours before the game so I
Yes.
can make sure I
Just
always get
right.
the
Yes.
seat with the worst angle to home plate.
Yeah.
Could sit anywhere. This is where I've chosen to park myself. It's good. It keeps him away from everybody else. When we're there for the game on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Is there
Ooh.
a season ticket holder going so we can get in line early and go
Ooh.
steal a spot?
I'm pretty good friends with my Thai guy. I can ask him.
Oh, there you go. That'll be fun.
I can't imagine the tantrum that would ensue.
Oh God, that'd be awesome.
I'd like to see it.
God, that'd be awesome.
I was gonna say, have you and Al ever personally met?
I saw him at a Cub convention, and somebody pointed him out. Like I knew it was him, but they yelled, "Hey,
Right.
Al!" and he knew something was up, and he scampered off the other direction. So all we could do was tell him to go fuck himself. Being a chance to chat with him, like, "Hey, it's Al!" And he's like, "Oh no, this can't be good," and he just took off in the other direction. Like a rat. He turned the light on in the kitchen, and the rat went and hid under the fridge. That was Al scurrying off.
To be fair, it was probably the right move.
No,
But
it
he could
wasn't.
have been.
Yeah, it was fine for him. Discretion was the better part of valor for Al.
Yeah.
Right.
By then, I'm sure we were
with it.
super hammered, and it was really going to be. We were going to think whatever we said was going to be hilarious, and he was just going to get all upset.
Mhm.
Oh man. All right, whatever.
I don't know that I had
No more Al Miller.
I don't think I had I've been banned from Bleed Cubby Blue shirt yet. Somebody, I can't think of who it is now. Somebody made them. They were great. So if for people of a certain era, he banned us from the message board.
Yeah.
And so what would happen is you had to log in to use the message board, and it would recognize you. And instead of being able to use the message board, this little white square would pop up with, "You have been banned from Bleed Cubby Blue." And so somebody took the square and made T-shirts where it was that was the whole design of the shirt. And they were great. I still have mine. I did not throw it away.
Oh,
and I
Sounds
did
like some
wear one
fork
to a
would have done
convention,
it.
but I don't think we had them yet when we actually saw Al.
Okay.
Because that would have been even better.
Was that when you put the name tag that said Al? Was that you or was that maybe that was Frank.
That wasn't me. I had the last one I ever went to. It wasn't at Hilton Towers
Shitty's?
anymore. We couldn't go to Shitty
Okay.
OK's.
Yeah.
It's at where it is now, the Sheraton, wherever that bar is across Lizzie O'Reilly, whatever
Oh,
it's
yeah,
called.
Lizzie
McGuire's.
McNeil's.
Lizzie
Yeah.
McGuire's, yeah.
McNeil's, whatever.
McNeil, McGuire, whatever. Heard of both
Yeah.
guys. And we were there, and a bunch of the media were there, like Sahada was there, and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
And Jesse was there, and Jesse had a name tag from the they had just come over from like the media availability or whatever, and he left it. So I put that on. So I got to be Jesse Rogers for the rest of the night. I had his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Sahada introduced me to a bunch of folks. I think I met Brett. I don't remember who else.
Yeah, I met Brett at one of those. He's a nice guy, and he introduced me to a bunch of the people there too.
Like, honestly,
I assume that's what they all say about me. Oh, I met Andy's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're the assholes, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like what's that? If you don't know,
which is fine.
It's like if you don't know the sucker in the room, you're the sucker. It's like if you don't know who the asshole is in the room, you're the asshole. It's like, no, I know I'm the asshole. That's
yeah.
I know it. I don't have to worry about it.
We lean into it. If everybody else leaned into it, then it'd be more fun.
Yeah.
Into their perceptive. I don't know. What am I trying to say? Into whatever the perception is of them.
But I had never met Cap until he actually had us on the radio show.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to the 23rd. It'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Cap and Mike Pusteri have put together like a get together, and so if you have a ticket for Wednesday, July 23rd, 120 game against the Royals, we're all going to be there. You can just come on over and find us. We'll be easy to find because we'll have bright orange cap. You can just look for the orange guy, and it'll be Dave Kaplan, and you can come over and say hi.
I'll have my shirt off. It'll be easy to find that way too.
Right. It'll be perfect. Don't get sunburned, Praz. It's going to be hot out. It's going to be sunny and hot. Don't get sunburned.
So, Praz, did you get your MVPCA shirt?
I did get my MVPCA shirt. That was I wore that on Thursday to the game.
Oh, I need to get a shirt. Maybe I'll look through your shop, Andy.
You are actually owed a shirt. You can have one. I have I have this one. The MVP. I'm showing it to you guys. Nobody can see it.
Ooh, I like that.
That is kind of cool.
I had to make that. I had to. So it's a shirt that has. It's when every ad for the shop shows this bootleg shirt of the back of Pete Crow's head with the star.
Yeah,
I had to make the whole thing. Like the star from the hair is actually from a picture I think his girlfriend took of him. So I stole that. Uh-huh. But the head is not him. It's not. I found one and I put it on there, and then I changed the star. I put MVP on the star, and then he also has this version of Pete has Pointless Exercise logo tattooed on his neck, right about where Javi Baez has the Major League Baseball logo.
That's genius. Oh man!
So
coming full circle with Cubs Caravan stories here. If you ever attend a future Cubs convention, you have to give PCA one of those shirts.
Yeah. And then he'll to his business manager, and then I'll get sued. I got to tell you, Pete, if you get a royalty from the sales of this shirt, you're not going to get very much. So don't worry about it.
True.
All right. Well,
I like these. All right, I'm gonna get one, especially for the 23rd. All right.
Yeah, you need to have one. You need to be in.
Yeah.
And my advice to anybody in the shop is get a size. If you buy just a regular T-shirt, get a size bigger than you wear, because the first time you wash it, it will then be the size that you wore. So that's your.
I just want this to be over.
If you wear, that was Wilson said that.
I just want this to be over.
So if you wear an extra large, get a double X, and then when you wash it, you'll have an extra large, and it'll fit perfectly. So.
Okay. All right, I'm losing some LBs, so we'll see how that goes. Might have to get an extra large.
Get an extra large, it'll become a large then.
Yeah, there you go.
Many of us have herpes.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
It's fitting. It's got to be done with one of the best games of all time. Just unbelievable. Got to congratulate the Dolan family.
Sean, my podcast co-host Andy, you were his favorite player growing up.
Oh, thank you so much. Awesome.